Alrighty, welcome back everybody. We just came off air on ABC 16, excuse me. It's a little late, a little early in the morning. We should now be live on our Facebook and our YouTube. I'm just gonna go through and make sure all of that is working. And yeah, and then we'll get going with working through these storms. All right, looks like everything is good to go on my end. And I'm just gonna push another quick notification because it looks like we've got another storm real quick. And I'll be back in just 1 second. I'm just gonna push that notification. I'll be right back. Alrighty, thank you everyone for your patience. It has been quite the active night here. But we'll just hop back into things, get everything going, and continue to cover everything tonight. But like I was just mentioning, we did just come off air from ABC 16 and Fox 24 because we did in fact get a tornado warning. Like I mentioned, tonight really wasn't set up for that kind of thing, but it still can always happen, and Mother Nature loves to prove us wrong and also just prove of what she can do, and that's exactly what happened. We saw a tornado warning in the northern portion of Upson County, so I hope everyone is staying safe, especially in northern Upson County. But we're still watching a couple warnings across the midstate. It looks like that leading edge is starting to get out of certain portions of the midstate, which is great news, certainly great news, especially after what an active night we have seen here. But we are seeing that the northern and eastern portion of the midstate are pretty much good. They're pretty much done with. They've even fallen out of that severe thunderstorm watch, at least some of them. We can go look at that right now. But again, still dealing with a little bit of rain, a little bit of lightning here and there, and it looks like just only a few counties at the moment have come out of that watch, and I expect them to start to fall out, especially as that leading edge makes its way on out of here. It just might take a little bit for the National Weather Service to update their graphic, but you're gonna notice that Washington, Hancock, and Putnam County are now out of our severe thunderstorm watch. And you can ignore that time up there. It's going to be until 4 a.m. this morning, so at least for the next 2.5 hours just about. But again, some of these are probably going to be cut out within the next hour or so, especially since that leading edge has made it out, at least from the northern and parts of the western part of middle Georgia. But we'll go back, we will take a look at things and keep up with, I believe it's just 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we have left. We've had quite a lot tonight so far, but I think we just have, or 3, excuse me. So we have one up here in the north. It's going to be for northern Upson County. It's going to be for parts of Lamar County and a little bit of Monroe County right here just to the north of Culloden. And then the other 2 that we have are going to be in the southeastern portions of the midstate. It's going to be for parts of Wilcox County, a little bit of Pulaski County, southern portions of Dodge, and then almost all of Telfair County. It looks like McRae was just cut out from that. We're still watching that leading edge make its way on through. And again, if you happen to be in McRae, in Chauncey, in Eastman, you guys look to be good. That leading edge has made its way past you. Still dealing with some rain back here. I've got a little bit of that green, a little bit of that yellow mixed in. So still seeing some steady rain, but not nearly as significant as with this red color right here, and probably not as nearly those gusty winds as we see with that leading edge. So those are the three that we do have, or excuse me, this one we still do have over here in Telfair. So Telfair has two at the moment. So the entirety of Telfair except McRae is going to be in a severe thunderstorm warning. It's just split up between two that happen to overlap. So if you happen to be in Lumber City, still going to be within that warning, but it looks like, again, that leading edge has made its way on out of there, and you're left with some remnant rain, maybe a little bit of that lightning mixed in too. But, and it looks like or maybe not. Oh no, okay, we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be right here. It's going to be for these 4 counties down here. It's going to be for a little bit of Pulaski, a little bit of Dooley and Crisp, and a little bit of Wilcox as well. So now the entirety of Wilcox County is going to be within that severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be Finlayson. You guys look like you're getting it right here with that leading edge. Abbeville, you guys are in the same deal, getting that heavy rain, getting some lightning mixed in, all the way up towards Unadilla. So that is what is the newest warning at the moment, and that is what we are watching, especially as we head throughout the remainder of this morning. At the time is now just about 1:40, and all of this started about, I want to say 10:30 yesterday. So it's been about 3-4 hours since this all started. Again, it was a little bit later to kick off than the models initially were showing, but it definitely is bringing the punch that the models were showing. Just a little bit behind schedule. But we're working through it. We're staying safe out there, doing our best, especially since this is an overnight event and a lot of people still have work tomorrow as well. So I hope everyone who is watching with us right now, I hope you guys still get some restful sleep after this makes its way through wherever you happen to live. So, but again, just pushing this notification really quickly, and then we will go right back to looking at, or excuse me, going through the radar. Sorry, it is a little late, a little past my bedtime, but that's okay. That is totally okay. There we go, do this. And on top of the weather that we're seeing tonight, it is still going to be hot out there. We did thankfully come out of our heat advisory today, right around 8 p.m. So a few hours ago now, almost 6. But even still tomorrow, those heat index values are probably still going to be within the hundreds. And you'll notice it's still very hot outside, even with all these storms making their way through. Some places are going to cool off just a little bit, especially with that rain, but it's still going to feel muggy out there too. Even when I walked out there earlier before we got some of that rain here in Macon at our station, it was a very, very big lightning show going on, and there still is a whole lot of lightning going across the mid-state, now making it to the other half of the mid-state in the western and the southern portions, or excuse me, the southwestern portions of our mid-state. So here in downtown Macon, up across 75, it's now making it to the western portions of 75 and making its way westward over towards Alabama. But still watching some of those warnings. We've got about 4 active here in Middle Georgia. Still going to be watching the one here in Upson County, a little bit into Lamar County, and a little bit into Monroe County, just to the north of Culloden as well. And that's right now made its way past Thomaston, which is certainly some good news, and looks to be making its way out of our viewing area. We're going to see that leading edge now making its way to a couple counties just to the west of Upson County. Still dealing with a little bit of rain, a little bit of that lightning mixed in just the south of Thomaston along US Route 19. But thankfully, I don't see any of that pink color mixed in, or maybe we do it just a little bit. Yeah, so there's a little bit of pink mixed in, but it looks like it is just past the county line into the county just to the west of Upson, which is certainly some good news. Again, the leading edge is now making its way out of our viewing area for this warning right here. So we'll begin to focus a little bit more on the warnings down here in the south that are still making their way through portions of the mid-state. So we'll just stop it right here just so it doesn't keep going back and forth. Again, still tracking a whole lot of lightning along this leading edge right here. And even though it is very hot outside, it does not mean that we are seeing heat lightning, because heat lightning is not a thing, because heat can help make a storm stronger. It can give it a stronger updraft. That in turn allows us to see more lightning, but the lightning isn't itself going to be caused by that heat. It's still going to be from those charge separations within the cloud, allowing them to connect a whole lot more often because of a stronger updraft. So you can also still think big heat is going to equal big storms. That's why we're still seeing a whole lot of lightning and a pretty big light show, at least for the last couple of hours. But that leading edge, not making it just to the bottom of Telfair County. So if you happen to be in Jacksonville, you're feeling it right now, seeing a whole lot of that red color, some heavy rain, a whole lot of lightning, especially along US Route 319 as we make our way over into Wilcox County. Going to see here in Abbeville, you guys are also still feeling it, making it just to the west a little bit with that leading edge, making its way over towards Pitts, but still going to see a whole lot of lightning surrounding Abbeville, and especially as we follow this road. And here, I'll zoom in so I can give you that specific. It's going to be US Route 129. So if you're in Rhine, you guys are good. You're now going to be mixing in with a little bit of less heavy rain, I should say. And then as we take US Route 129 up, if you're in Finlayson, you're feeling it right now as well, seeing all that heavy rain. Not a whole lot of lightning in Finlayson, but still at least some rain, probably a little bit gusty as well. And if you happen to be in Wallace, that is where we had the newest severe thunderstorm warning issued until about 2 a.m., 2:30-ish. So we're going to see just right in Wallace, that's where we're seeing the initiation have just a little bit of that pink color mixed in. It's going to be along Georgia Highway 257 and in between Georgia Highway 27 as well. So we'll have to see and track that little part of that pink to see if it happens to grow. Again, hail is still certainly a possibility with any of these storms, but it's mainly going to be that damaging wind that we really need to be watching out for. But those are still the warnings that we are watching at the moment. All right, it looks like the warning here in Upson, Lamar, and Monroe County has now expired, which is certainly some good news. That means if you happen to be over here in Jackson, you guys are good. You're not even really seeing a whole lot of rain anymore. As we make our way down, if you're in Juliet, you guys are good. Dames Ferry, you guys are good. Forsyth, it's moving on out of there. You guys are good. If you happen to be in Bolingbroke, you guys are getting on out of there. Maybe a little bit of that heavy rain still hanging on, but probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes, you guys will be good. Here in downtown Macon, still seeing a little bit of that rain, but it looks like the heaviest is staying to the west of Bibb County over near Lizella. You're seeing some heavy rain right now. Not a whole lot of lightning, but still going to see some heavy rain, probably a little bit of those gusty winds, especially along US Route 80 as well. As we make our way down, Warner Robins getting some heavy rain on top of you guys right now. Bon Air just a little bit to the south, looks to be a little bit of that lighter rain, but we could have that heavy rain move down and you can start to feel a little heavier rain within the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then as we make our way over into Twiggs County here, Jeffersonville, looks like that rain is just moving to the south of you. That's where our radar is located. Still have a couple lightning strikes out there as well. Thankfully, none of the ones that we've been covering from all the way up in Butts County are severely warned, which is certainly some good news. But just because a storm isn't severely warned doesn't mean it still can't cause damage. But still just tracking a few severe thunderstorm warnings that are still in the southern portions of the mid-state. And Tyler, I would agree that the lightning tonight has been pretty crazy. Even for me, I've been a weather enthusiast for many, many years, and I've only been doing this job for a handful of months. But even in my time of being on this earth, it's one of the craziest lightnings that I've seen. I can definitely tell you that. But thankfully, making its way through middle Georgia. Again, we had that tornado warning a little bit earlier in northern Upson County. That's the only one we've seen at the moment. Again, tonight's event really wasn't set up for tornadoes, but it still can always happen, especially if you will think about maybe about a month or two ago in Henry County, so just a county north of Butts County. They had a tornado, an EF2 from a rain shower, not even a storm itself, from a rain shower. So it just goes to show that it really can happen from anything. So that's why we always say that it's never going to be a zero when it comes to severe weather, and it's always still going to be a possibility. But again, damaging winds are still going to be that main threat as we make our way through the last few counties here in middle Georgia. And even a little bit before, so a few hours ago, places here over in Sumter County, a little bit into Dooley, you guys were severely warned as well. So on top of seeing some storms earlier, you're still feeling some rain, and you could even see this severe thunderstorm warning that's just towards Vienna and Cordele be extended. So you might get another round of those storms. And because of that, the fact that these might hit twice and or are moving not as fast as we would expect them to, there's the chance for an isolated area of flash flooding. So in terms of our flash flooding, you always want to make sure the biggest rule that you follow is turn around, don't drown, because especially at night, it's nearly impossible to see where you are going, especially if a road is covered by water. You don't know if that road has been washed out. You don't know how deep that water is, and it takes just about a foot of water to wash away most cars, and that is the result of a lot of fatalities when it comes to weather-related fatalities, is because people will get into water, they don't exactly know how deep it is, they don't know if the road's been washed away, so it's just always best to stay home if at all possible and just to turn around and don't drown. That's the biggest message I want to get across in terms of that flash flooding. But again, at the moment, have not seen any flash flooding warnings tonight, but it doesn't mean it still can't happen. Especially again, if we see places in Sumter County, in Dooley County, and Crisp County, see another round of those storms, which looks like that's kind of where this sector right around Finlayson is starting to head. So we'll need to be watching that closely as well. But across the board, just have these 3 warnings down here in the southern portions of the mid-state. Other than that, no other warnings, which is certainly some good news. So what we will do is I'm going to try and track this section of the storm right here, just because this one over here is starting to get out of our viewing area. We're going to want to track the one that's still going to be making its way down here into these counties over here. I'm just going to go I'm going to go find what our storm speed looks like, just so I can accurately portray where we could see it be within the next 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to go talk to our friends over at the National Weather Service and see what they're saying. Make sure I get the right speeds for us. Okay, so moving right around 25 miles an hour. So pretty much the average of what we've seen tonight is right around 30 miles an hour. So just want to update that real quick, just so we get the most accurate, up-to-date information that we can try and get. All right, so this is that leading edge that we're going to track right here. We'll put it out, we'll do about an hour. We'll do it just about an hour right there. Alrighty, so this is where we could see this storm end up within the next hour. So right around 2 o'clock, so in about 10 minutes or so, we could see it just passing through Fullington Academy and also Lastonia. As we head over to right about 2:15, could be ending up towards Vienna and also the Crisp County Youth Ball Complex. As we head over to right around 2:30 near Sibley, near Araby, as we head down to even 2:45, could be near Marshall and even Cobb. So this is just a guess or a rough estimate as to where this could end up within the next hour at the speed of about 25 miles an hour. But still just going to be watching these 3 severe thunderstorm warnings that are going to be in the southern portions of middle Georgia. I'm also going to go read real quick just to see if there happen to be any storm reports, just in case I can help relay those over to you guys as well. All right, I'm not seeing anything on their end, so we'll just continue to track these at least for the next hour or so as they make their way out of the southern portions of the mid-state. But I will be right back. I'm just gonna get off here, grab some water really quick. Again, check my batteries, just to make sure everything is good and nothing dies on me over here, and I will be back momentarily. But until then, I'm meteorologist Noah Hauck, and we're covering the remainder of the severe weather making its way through Middle Georgia. Alrighty, I am back, everybody, and we're just gonna keep on tracking this, at least for the next few minutes. It looks like everything is behaving at the moment. We're still just watching the 3 severe thunderstorm warnings that are in the southern portions of the mid-state, and we did track it just a little bit ago just to see where it could end up. Again, this is a little bit slower moving, only moving at about 25 miles an hour. And this is the biggest portion that we're still watching within the mid-state. So it's just passed through Finlayson, still seeing that heavier rain as it makes its way into Dooley and into Crisp County. So heading towards Vienna and Cordele as well. Also heading towards Pitts, you're starting to get a little bit of that heavier rain, a little bit of that lightning that just made its way through Abbeville. So you happen to be in Abbeville and Finlayson, you guys should be good within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then that's going to be making its way towards the west and also towards the south as well, at least over the next 30 minutes. And apart from that, those are the only warnings that we are still watching here in Middle Georgia. There are some that are over here in Telfair County as well as in the southern portions of Dodge County and even a little bit into Pulaski, but that leading edge has made its way past that. So I really think that we're just waiting for these to expire rather than there still being an actual risk associated with these right here, especially in Telfair County, where this leading edge has made it out of Telfair County specifically, especially in Jacksonville, only seeing a little bit of activity still going on. A few lightning strikes and a little bit of that heavy rain mixed in, but that leading edge has made it down to the south and off to the west as well. So really just watching this area right here in Pulaski County, or excuse me, in Wilcox County and a little bit into Pulaski, making its way over into Dooley and even into Crisp County. And before we did see, and it looks like, or no, we did see before that Sumter and even into Crisp County, we had some warnings earlier, or rather last night. So we'll need to be watching this very closely for the isolated chance for a potential flash flood warning, just because it would be the second go round of these storms making their way through, bringing some heavier rainfall. But across the board here in Middle Georgia, those are the only warnings that we have at the moment. Still have some activity going on, especially over here in Upson and even into Taylor County, and maybe a little bit into Crawford as well. A little bit of heavy rain in the western portions of Bibb County and a little bit in the southern portions of Monroe County. But across the board, everything seems to be making its way on out of here, which is certainly some good news. So since we haven't seen any new warnings at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to be here in the background. I'm just going to be over at our weather center. I'm going to be watching things. I'm going to be on social media in case you have any questions. But at the moment, if everything is staying like this, I'll come back and update if anything is to change. But again, I'm meteorologist Noah Hauck, and we're still going to be covering these severe storms as they make their way on out of here through Middle Georgia. Already, and just as I stepped away, we actually did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's actually rather two, just in two separate locations. So we will just cover those quickly just because they are the newest ones to have popped up. Let's go back to our radar, make it a little less cluttered. And it's going to be these two right here. So this triangle shape right here in Wilcox County, and this shape right here that's a little bit into Sumter and then covers the remainder of Crisp County besides this warning right here. So again, we're still seeing a whole lot of rainfall over here making its way through Rochelle right now. We'll zoom in here a little bit, see if there's a little bit of a pink color. And there is right here, so that's just going to be to the west of Rochelle and just to the east of Pitts, so it's making its way into Pitts right now. And since we have a little bit of a pink core going on right here, could see a little bit of hail coming out of this storm right now as well. So if you happen to be within the area of Pitts along Georgia Highway 159 and US Route 280, there's a potential there could be some hail making its way or making it towards you at this moment. So you want to make sure if you have anything, you can pull it in under a carport, keep your car safe. If it is safe to do so, do not go outside if at all possible. But if you can, to get that car under there, just potential, or to save from some potential hail damage. But that is one of the newest ones. And then we're still also watching this one over here in Crisp and into Sumter County as well, as we're watching the remainder of this storm coming out of the northern portions of Wilcox County and also into Dooley and Crisp County as well. So those are the newest warnings that we have. And again, these two right here, this triangle shape and this fish looking shape right here in the southern portion of Crisp and over into Sumter County, those are going to be the two newest severe thunderstorm warnings that are going to last until about 2:45 a.m. And these are the areas that we're going to have to watch a little bit more closely as they get closer to Sumter and the edge of Crisp County, because we did see some storms make their way through before and they were also severely warned. So today still has a chance for an isolated flash flooding event. So if anywhere it's going to happen, I think it could be there if it is to happen. So we'll need to watch it, especially over the next 30 minutes as this system makes its way onto the west. But still going to see that pink core making its way towards Pitts. That's the biggest area of concern within this warning right now. So this has the potential to see some hail mixed in, but hopefully it'll start to dissipate as we head throughout the next few minutes. And we'll also notice the warning that was here in Telfair, up into Dodge, and even into Pulaski has since expired. So now we're just watching the three that are over here in Wilcox, also into just a tiny bit of Pulaski right here, just to the west of Finlayson, and then here in a Dooley, Crisp, and just a little bit into Sumter as well. But those are the only three that we have across middle Georgia. Otherwise, just some rain and some storms going on as well. And of course, just because you don't have anything severely warned doesn't mean these storms can't cause damage, but these warnings down here are the only three that we're seeing right now across middle Georgia. But again, if anything is to change, I'll come back on here and update you guys. But for now, it is just those three down there that we are currently still watching. But I will still be on the sidelines checking social media just in case anybody has any questions to keep everybody up to date. But until then, I've been Meteorologist Noah Hauck. Alrighty, everyone. It is just about 2:32 in the morning, and it looks like we just have the one severe thunderstorm that we have left here in Middle Georgia, which is certainly some good news. So the other two that were here have now since expired, and we're just waiting on this last one. It's going to go until 2:45. That is just for parts of it's going to be for Crisp County and also over into Sumter County as well. And that is going to be right until 2:45 a.m. So in just about 10 minutes. And if that expires and we don't have any more warnings, we'll be free of warnings here in Middle Georgia, which is certainly some good news. We also have some parts of the mid-state have now come out of that severe thunderstorm watch. So we'll go head over there and see what has been taken out of that. All right, and so we'll see a good chunk has been taken out all the way down here in Wheeler, up through Lawrence, into Wilkinson, over into Baldwin-Jones, and up into Butts County. And I really do think all of this will start to be tapered away as well, as that leading edge is starting to make its way on out of the mid-state, but we're just going to have to wait on that. And again, this is until 4 a.m. And the radar that we're looking at is just the one severe thunderstorm that we have left here in Middle Georgia. So we'll bump it up to right about now, and you'll notice that's the only area that still has that heavy rainfall, has that lightning being mixed in. It's going through Cordele right now, just went through Arabi, still having a little bit of that heavy rain. We'll zoom in just a little bit as well. So just in Cordele, just over the Crisp County Middle School, still seeing some heavy rainfall there. A few lightning strikes here and there as we head towards Rains along Georgia Highway 300 into Pattville and also Arabi along US Route 41. Still seeing that heavy rain, a few lightning strikes here and there as well, making its way towards Lake Blackshear. That's where we had a viewer actually say that they saw a pea-sized hail earlier in the evening. So back on yesterday night. And that is the last of what we're seeing in terms of that severe thunderstorm warning heading into Sumter County as well. But across the board here in Middle Georgia, it's been a rather active night and a morning. Everywhere looks to still be seeing some sort of rain, just not nearly as intense as down here where that severe thunderstorm warning still lasts until 2:45, but still going to see all of this rain across the remainder of the mid-state. Lighter rain here and there, a little bit more steady and consistent over here in Dublin. Still a few lightning strikes, so we'll zoom into that, see if there happens to be any of that red color mixed in. It doesn't look like a whole lot of that red, but still a couple lightning strikes here and there. Still staying with that steady rain. But other than the one warning, it looks like we are pretty much good here in Middle Georgia for this event, which is certainly some good news because it was a rather active night starting all the way back around 10:30 last night. So that was about 4 hours ago now. We even ended up seeing one tornado warning in the northern portions of Upson County, and on top of a whole lot of severe thunderstorm warnings that made its way through Middle Georgia. And a whole lot of us, I want to say more than 50% of the counties here in Middle Georgia saw one of those warnings tonight. Mainly the northern portions is what really didn't see a whole lot of that action. So up near Sparta, Eatonton, and even in towards Monticello. But again, still doesn't mean that you didn't get anything. It just means you didn't really see any of those warnings make their way through those particular areas tonight. But again, still just watching that one severe thunderstorm warning make its way through the southern portions of the mid-state. That's only going to be for the next 10 minutes. And hopefully no other warnings get issued, especially since everything seems to be winding down. And if that's the case, when we hit 2:45 and we don't see any new warnings, that one is allowed to expire, I'm going to give us the all clear, as that leading edge is really falling apart down there and is making it out of here and making its way over towards Alabama here on the west and then down to the south and the southern portions of Georgia as a whole. So if that happens, I'll say we are good to go right around 2:45 a.m. and you'll be given the all clear. But again, still just waiting on that severe thunderstorm warning to expire in the southern portions of Crisp County and just a little bit of Sumter County as well. So I'll be back in just about 10 minutes with an update and hopefully be able to give you guys the all clear. Alrighty, the time is now 2:45, and that severe thunderstorm warning for the southern portions of Crisp County and over into Sumter County has finally expired. And across the board here in Middle Georgia, we do not have any more severe warnings for any sort of weather, which is certainly some great news. Now, we still do have this rain that is rather remnant across the entirety of the mid-state, so we are still going to have to keep in mind the chance for a flash flood warning still is a possibility with this remnant rain, but in terms of a severe thunderstorm, I really don't think it's going to happen for the remainder of tonight. So I'm going to give us the all clear in those terms, but of course still stay vigilant in case we do happen to get a warning in terms of the flash flooding. Otherwise, I'm glad if you have been sticking it out with me this evening and even into this morning, and I hope everyone has been safe tonight. And yeah, but I've been meteorologist Noah Hauck, and that was the severe weather coverage for tonight. So hope everyone is safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.